ABC Wednesday.
Y'all complain all day. We want books. We want paper towels in the classroom. Bet you want raises too.
I'm still waiting on the paper towels.
Abbott Elementary returns with the new season.
We asked the district for more after-school programs. They gave us $50 for class pets instead.
Critics cheer. Abbott Elementary continues to be one of the funniest and most beloved shows on TV.
What y'all doing out there?
Taking bribes.
Proud of y'all.
Abbott Elementary. Season premiere Wednesday, 9:30, 8:30 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
My name is Lorne Michaels. I'm the producer of Saturday Night.
The whole night?
Yeah, the whole night.
Based on the insane true story of the first time Saturday Night went live.
You ordered a llama?
Yeah, we all decided it was much funnier than a donkey.
Saturday Night, rated R, now playing exclusively in theaters.
Hello, and welcome to 3D Printing Basics. This is episode number 28, and in this episode, we are going to be going over some of the current events that I find interesting in the 3D printing space today. I think it's a good idea for me to try and keep you guys updated on what's going on in this space so you guys can get some more experience and information on some of the real-life applications that 3D printing has. Before we get into it, I would like to ask if you would please follow and leave a 5-star review on this podcast. We have already hit 100 5-star reviews. I'm very, very thankful for it. The printer has been sent out to the contested winner, so I am super happy for him. If you didn't win a printer, I'm sorry, but let's get to 200 5-star reviews, and then let's say maybe I'll do another one. You never know. You never know what's going to happen, but I appreciate all the support you guys have given me. It truly means the world. I wouldn't be here without you guys, so thank you so, so much. And without further ado, let's get into this. So to start, the first thing that I found really interesting was this article I found about the Air Force Research Laboratory and them using 3D printing to make a rocket engine thruster. And so what they did here was they used a different method of 3D printing. It's kind of like the laser powder bed fusion, but they call it DED, which is basically, it's like SLS, but they use fused metal powder and they cure it instantly with high power laser beams. And this is a method of 3D printing that I have talked about before. It's definitely not the most common. The most common ones that I have discussed in detail are FDM and SLA, but this is kind of number 3 in terms of popularity. But I see a lot of businesses that use this kind of 3D printing just because the thing that I notice the most about this kind of 3D printing is that there aren't any visible layer lines. So you could look at a part and you wouldn't be able to tell that it's 3D printed, because basically what it does is it layers powder on top of each other, like a special powder, a special metal powder, or any other kind of powder. And it basically lines it up in the shape that it needs to be and then cures it instantly with a laser. And what this does is still has the effects of 3D printing where it's building something up layer by layer, but without the visible layer lines. And these parts are very, very strong and they're very, very durable. I mean, they have to be, right, in order to be able to be used in a rocket engine thrust chamber. But so that's what they did. And this is one of the early manufacturing techniques. And I just think it's really, really cool to see something like the Air Force utilizing 3D printing in their everyday applications. And it's just really, really cool for me to see. And they're working directly with NASA. And so seeing something that's 3D printed being used for something in space is just something that I found really interesting. And I really like it because they're using a method of 3D printing that isn't super popular, but I think should be more popular than it is, just because of how good it is and how durable it is. There are definitely some setbacks. It's very expensive. It can get messy because the powder has to be cleaned off. There's basically powder everywhere. I've seen this kind of printing in action before, and it kind of reminds me of sandblasting when you take it out, because there's just, when you take it out of the enclosed machine that it prints in, there's powder everywhere and you have to brush all the parts off, and it can get really messy. But it's just something that I thought was really, really cool, being able to use something like this that's applicable in space. And the Air Force really liked it and NASA really liked it because they said, quote, "This technology enables us to pursue complex engine designs with fewer iterations, employing shape optimization, lightweight materials, and rapid manufacturing techniques. And to me, that's kind of the whole antithesis of 3D printing, is being able to crank out a lot of prototypes super quick, but cheaply, and just being able to have a lot of iterations very, very quickly. That's what I like so much about 3D printing, is if I want to prototype a part, I can have, 10 different iterations rather than having to make a mold and inject some plastic in there for injection molding. That's what I really like about 3D printing. And I like that the Air Force and NASA is utilizing that part of 3D printing. Okay. So with that being said, I want to move on to the next article that I found interesting. And this one comes from Cornell University, which is a college. It's an Ivy League school in America. And so basically what this centers around is the way that Cornell cools their school. So rather than having a traditional air conditioning unit, they have a lake that's right next to them. It's called Lake Cayuga. I hope I'm saying that right, but probably not. And basically this lake is so deep that the water temperature at the bottom is close to freezing. And the college utilizes this low temperature and basically passes air really close to the bottom of the lake, which cools it without the need of as much energy or any conventional air conditioning units. And I just think that's really, really cool because it does reduce electricity costs and consumption for Cornell University. And it's just a really cool eco-friendly thing that I like to see, utilizing kind of the natural landscape of things versus installing however many AC units you're going to need to cool down that entire school. But the problem that they were having was they were having a lot of mussels and debris problems that were clogging up the airways. And so the way that they have to deal with this is they have to actually use manpower and manually clean these things from time to time, what they call necessary maintenance. And that takes a lot of time, and it's pretty difficult because, like I said, the lake is very deep. And the way that an engineering student was able to deal with this and help make it a little easier was he 3D printed what are called shackle alignment tabs, which aided in cleaning the intake screen, which is situated 250 feet beneath the lake's surface. And basically what this piece did is it's a little 3D printed piece, and it lets them grab the intake screen a lot easier to be able to pull it out and clean the screen a lot easier. It's basically like a dryer screen. It prevents debris and stuff from getting into the important parts of whatever system you're using. But I just think it's really cool that just this engineering student at Cornell was able to 3D print something really quick. And I'm looking at a picture of it now. It's not very big. It's a pretty small piece. It fits in the palm of your hand. And it's just really, really cool that he was able to print that and use it in an industrial application like this that saves a lot of time and was, quote, pivotal in the larger endeavor to preserve the efficiency of that cooling system. And that's something I love to see, just using 3D printing in what seems like a simple application, but saving tons of man hours. Because at the end of the day, I feel like everything in this world is created for ease of use. And 3D printing, especially when it's able to provide that ease of use, is just something that I really love to see. And I really, really enjoy that. All right. So the last thing, and in my opinion, the coolest thing that I want to talk about is this person turning sign language into speech with 3D printed glasses. So in this article, we have a maker by the name of Nikhil, who has used Raspberry Pi technology combined with 3D printing to make glasses that are capable of translating sign language into speech. So basically, he 3D printed some glasses that has a camera embedded in it, as well as a Raspberry Pi. The camera is on the front, kind of where the nose is, and the Raspberry Pi is on the side. And basically, what he has been able to make this do is the camera can see a person in front of you. If you are wearing the glasses, the camera can see the person in front of you. It can pick up what they're signing, and then it translates that into speech. So I see a video. He put a video up where he's signing in front of this camera, and it's saying the letters that he's signing. And I just think this is super cool, and the application for this could be huge. I mean, you could have people who are just this is just so cool to me. I just really enjoy the process of something like this that's being brought forth to life. It could really help somebody who maybe has a deaf person in their life but doesn't quite understand sign language. They could wear these glasses and then have things instantly translated for them. And this is definitely an early stage of production, but I really hope that Nikhil gets the backing that he needs to be able to develop this further, because this is just something that's so cool to me and something that allows people to communicate easier without necessarily needing to learn a whole new language. And to me, that's something like you could wear these glasses and they could listen to, if you are an English speaker and you only speak Spanish and somebody speaking Spanish to you, they could listen for the Spanish and they could automatically translate it to English. To me, this opens up a whole world of possibilities for right there translating that could make communication in this world a lot easier and could just open up a whole new realm of possibilities. And to be able to use 3D printing like this is, to me, this is exactly what 3D printing was created to do, to create things that have never been done before. And it's just really cool that he's using this to be able to prototype something like this. And this isn't like a super advanced part. This thing was crafted, it was designed in Fusion 360 and 3D printed on just a normal 3D printer. So I hope that really lets any of my listeners out there know that really anything is possible with 3D printing. If you have a creative mind or if you have an idea that you want to try out, get into 3D printing, design something, and you could come up with something like this or something groundbreaking or something that really changes the world. And it's just something that I think is really, really cool. And I want everybody that's listening to know that anything is possible. And you could, who knows, if you might just be a 3D printer away from getting the next breakthrough in this world. All right. With that being said, that was all the information I have today. I hope you enjoyed getting up to date on what's going on in the 3D printing world today. Let me know what you think of this kind of episode. If you enjoy getting the current event updates, then I will keep doing them. I know it's kind of a new kind of episode that I haven't really done before. So be sure to let me know what you think. Please be sure to follow this podcast and leave me a 5-star review. I would really appreciate it. We're currently well over 100 5-star reviews. So if we get even more, I'll probably most likely do another giveaway. So we'll see what happens there. Please be sure to email me if you have any questions. Follow me on Instagram, do all that good stuff. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.